It's almost like the ketamine, it's something that changes it's almost like changing the channel on your consciousness.
Yeah.
Like you could come back to, oh yeah, okay, I'm still in that game, but whoa, there's this whole other game.
Dude, and my last 2 times when I come back, I'm like flashing in and out of reality. Cause like I'm back here and then I'm back there. And it takes me like 2 hours until I'm like completely back. Like,
oh yeah.
Even my phone looks way different. Like the way I see it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like trying to fucking.
Oh, it's so
dude, I'm
fucking different.
Trying to text you.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I was like trying to text you, but it's like you see the
phone
Matrix.
looks like a different phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you see the
fucking
Matrix.
Weird.
You're like,
yeah.
You're like, I need to communicate.
The texting is so fucking crazy, dude. Oh
Dude,
my god.
I just can't wait for you to do
you
it.
start seeing the ones and the zeros or what?
No, it looks totally different. Like the last time when I did it, I thought it was a different phone. I thought it was like this most advanced,
and it's way
upgraded
smaller.
phone.
Yeah,
it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
dude.
you're like looking at it and you're like, damn, dude, look how great because you like.
And then you come back and you're like, fuck, dude, I'm back. That was way cool. I thought I broke through to this like whole new level of the game that was like so fucking amazing. We'd won like this utopia. Then you're like, fuck, I'm still here.
You felt his vibe.
I see it in the reflection.
Oh,
What's up, man? How you doing?
dude,
What's
up, bro?
I thought that was pee at first.
Oh, no, this is electrolytes.
Nice. How you doing?
Good. I went to that seminar with Bobby Lawrence.
Damn.
Nice. All right, back in it. So hey, man, dude, even when we went and hung out with Steve, because Steve's in Green Coin.
Yeah.
All those things, I still haven't set it up, man. I gotta get that shit, the nodes and stuff for green.
Oh yeah, I'm going
or some
back.
of these other ones you get, like the natural gas one.
Yeah, I'm going back to Utah in. I think at the end of September. I got to check the dates, but they're doing another event in September that I'm going to go plug into and check out everything.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah,
and
we're talking about doing something at the end of September, anyways.
Yeah, so they're launching like multiple different projects
Wow.
under with the whole node concept.
Just with green or with other?
No. There's a whole bunch. Like that's just
Gala
one. That's just one project.
Dude,
yeah.
you fucking scored on Gala, man.
Yeah, Gala was one of the best things I gotten into in crypto.
Yeah.
So
hands down.
yeah, so that really like caught my attention about this whole business model where you have a decentralized network of nodes. You know, I mean, basically, it's kind of like Bitcoin was just a decentralized network of nodes. That's how Bitcoin started.
100%.
But now they're doing it with software instead of hardware, so anyone can do it. It levels the playing field because now to be a Bitcoin miner, you gotta, if you ain't got like 100 mil and free electricity, it's gonna be hard for you to compete. So
100%.
So Bitcoin, because of that mining difficulty increase that's written into the whole code, it's not even a level playing field. Bitcoin has become more and more centralized over time because the mining difficulty increases. Yeah. So now you got these other blockchain companies that are trying to create an ecosystem where you can just download a node software on your computer that doesn't increase in difficulty and doesn't suck up a bunch of electricity, essentially leveling the playing field with the decentralized network.
Damn,
man,
that's awesome.
So besides green and Gala, what's that natural gas one?
Okay, so there's another one. One of my buddies introduced me to where they're doing the whole business model of having the node network, and their business model goes in a nutshell like this: they got oil drilling sites. Now, when you extract oil, you can also, in the most cases, they also have natural gas at the same site.
The guy I'm going to's party on Saturday, he's out on an ocean liner drilling oil.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, from what I understand, and I just got into this company a month ago, very new to it, is their business model is they're basically pulling oil and natural gas and all these commodities, selling them, taking the profits that they sell from those, and then buying back into the tokens or the rewards that people are mining through the nodes. And then they sell node licenses. So they're bringing money in by the sale of node licenses. You got people running nodes, beginning the distribution, and then they're buying back in with the profits from the sales of those commodities to make all their customers happy that bought the node licenses, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So they did that really successfully already with a project called Black Gold, which is basically an oil-backed project. So they're because and black gold, from what I heard, created a whole bunch of millionaires. It was like a tiny fraction of a penny when they started it. Now it trades for 1 cent.
No way.
Yeah. So now what it seems like is they're attempting to duplicate that same business model that they did with black gold, with the natural gas, and with a bunch of other commodity-backed projects.
Same founders that did black gold, or different?
Yes, same.
Oh, really?
Same.
Did black gold go under?
No, it did good. It's still good.
Going.
It's still trading
But
around
they're
1
just
cent.
Improving upon black gold, or why don't they do these resources with black gold?
No, they did. That was the first project, and it was a big
really?
success. Yes, and that was the oil-backed one.
Yeah.
So now they're like, well, shit, we got this permit to drill in Nevada and in Nebraska and these other places, and we got natural gas in here too. Let's do the same thing with natural gas. Let's create a token backed by natural gas and then buy back. That's what they're. It looks like they're attempting to just duplicate what they did with black gold, with natural gas, with an aluminum mining site, with a gold, like all of anything commodity backed is what it seems like they're trying to do that with.
What's that coin called?
Well, the company was called Debtbox.
Debtbox.
And they're a blockchain company.
Do you have to buy? Is that what the node is? Is the box?
Well, that's what they're about to release, and I've seen previews of it already. It's basically a hardware device that, and from what I understand, and I don't have one of these yet, so, but from what I heard from the people in the company is one of these boxes will run 20 different node licenses on it.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what they're trying to do is have, just a bunch of people scattered across the globe running these nodes. That way it secures the network, even if it comes a regulatory compliance issue in one jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you got it all global, just kind of like how Bitcoin is.
Right.
So in a nutshell, from what I interpreted, that's what they're doing.
Interesting.
So I figured, I got a couple node licenses to test it out and see what happens. And
so even before the box comes out, you can get license.
Yes, they're already doing that before the box comes out. The box is supposed to come out like next month.
Do you share all this along with like the tutorials on how to set it up?
Yes.
In your course?
It's mainly just on my YouTube.
Oh, really?
I do have that like social media marketing course.
Yeah.
But I'm mainly now, my main thing is just the nodes.
Yeah.
That was, when I first launched the course back in 2019, like a bunch of people were buying it. But now it's like everyone's just all about nodes, man. Nodes is like the whole idea of setting up a node, the whole business model is really catching on after the success of Gala Games. Like a whole bunch of other blockchain companies got woken up to this business model and they're trying to duplicate it. And they realize, this is better. Software nodes are better that don't increase in difficulty. It levels the playing field and keeps it from getting more centralized over time, like what happened with Bitcoin.
So with Gala, do you cash in the yield that you get to like go travel and stuff like that?
I did cash out some of my Gala coins. I don't want to cash out any now because we're in a bear market.
Right.
But yeah, I did cash out some. I also got a Gala music node license because Gala launched a music platform.
Yeah.
They also launched a film node because they're launching a film platform.
Right.
So from what it seems, it's like you're going to be able to use Gala to buy movie tickets and watch films.
Or to invest in a movie.
Yeah, or invest in a movie.
Producer.
Yeah, or in music as NFTs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, and then you got all these people pinging off each other's nodes with the confirmations, making the network secure and global.
Wow.
And you have a green node too?
Yeah, I've got some green nodes. I got there's other ones they're launching. They're trying to do other projects for like other video games, and they got a debit card called the Switch card, which is gonna allow people to again cash out more cryptocurrency onto the card, and then the Switch card is under the umbrella of the same company that is doing like green and that first started out with
oh no way.
Yeah, so it's like you got this company that they're trying to launch multiple projects and have nodes for multiple different cryptos with multiple different use cases.
Yeah.
And they're bringing
all
on more
green energy type.
Yeah, so it's all
projects?
gonna tie in to one another.
Yeah.
So I think their ultimate goal is to have you have this crypto debit card that also if you're mining green or you're mining any of these other ones, eventually you can just easily convert them onto the card.
Right.
So just making the whole ecosystem more liquid, more interchangeable. And then I think their goal with green is to actually have people pay their power bill with the green token. And they announced this thing called Power Pay that they're trying to set up, which is, and from what I understand, none of this is built yet. This is all like just stuff that I hear on the Zoom calls. But, they want to make it so where, hey, like you can go and get solar panels installed on your house, all connected to this green blockchain ecosystem.
What?
Where you can just pay your power bill with a cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's all done through solar, so it's renewable and it's more decentralized.
Damn.
And so they're trying to basically, get everyone off the centralized grid
Right.
and on more of a decentralized ecosystem, not just in terms of how the energy is produced, but also in how the energy can be paid for with the monthly bill.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you think that the green nodes, even like the base one, is still pretty feasible, still a pretty good investment?
I don't recommend buying a green node now because the price has increased a lot, just like how with Gala, the price increased.
Yeah.
And right now, for the same price of a green node, you could just go on Uniswap and buy a boatload of it.
Of green.
Way more than that node would produce in years. So that's the funny dynamic with these nodes and these ecosystems is the timing is extremely important. And you got to watch the markets because
the natural gas one it's
increasing in price too.
Okay.
So like what happens with these nodes is because there's a limited supply of the nodes is that as more of the nodes get bought up, the price increases. So so at some point it will reach a time where it's no longer even worth it to get the node.
Right.
And then you also got to watch the market because what if on the token that's being mined by these nodes, what if all of a sudden the token shoots up really high in value and you can't buy as much of it on the exchange, but the node is a better deal because of the amount that the node is still producing each day is equivalent to or worth it to actually get the. So you got to watch everything. It's a very, very volatile, constantly changing ecosystem, and a lot of different factors come into play when strategizing. Is it better to buy the node or just go on the block or go on the exchange and buy the coin?
Yeah.
Or is it better, or like we saw some different scenarios play out with other blockchains, like with Gala. It was a very, very slow process of Gala coin actually appreciating in its price.
Right.
There was another one built on Avalanche blockchain, similar tokenomics to Gala, but when they launched their nodes and their whole project, there was so much hype in the beginning that their coin just on Trader Joe, the decentralized exchange for Avalanche, not one centralized exchange listing, went from like under a penny to 8 cents in one day.
Whoa.
And then the nodes, I bought my node for $1,000. I watched it go to $2,000 in less than 24 hours, and then by the end of the week, go to $4,000 per node.
The cost of a node?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but then what happened?
Then a correction happened with the price of the token because there was all this hype in the Avalanche community. Now the token is trading for 1/10 of a penny.
A tenth.
So it's like, well, why would I buy a node for $4,000 when I could go on the exchange and for 1/10 of a penny just get millions and millions and millions of these things at 1/10 of a penny, and then later, if they do have a big
That's what
success,
you're hoping for anyway, is another pump.
Yeah.
yes. And so later, if they onboard a bunch of video games and the games are really fun, and they get millions of players on the game, and now they have to use that token in the game. Well, what's going to happen to the price of that token that I just bought for 1/10 of a penny during a bear market when before they even have these games launched? I just made a boatload of money now.
I was just telling Gary, I have fucking trillions of Satoshi. So we're just waiting for that next bull.
Trillions of Safe Moon.
Yeah.
That's not Satoshi.
Not just
The
Safe
position
Moon.
would be.
Yeah.
But not trillions. There's no way you got trillions of Satoshi. I don't even have trillions of Satoshi.
Yeah. I didn't mean. I just meant
trillions of Safe Moon coins.
Safe Moon and Panda Girl. I mean, lots of other coins that, like, I know just from the research I've done that they're going to go back up because they're like a modern. Like Safe Moon, everybody was talking about that. I'm surprised that it dipped as much as it did.
There was a lot of hype.
Yeah, a lot of
huge hype. In fact, I just found out that was based out of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Alex knows them real well.
Yeah. What's his name? Fleckus Talks is big into Safe Moon. Like, still is. He wears Safe Moon shirt all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of research, watch videos and shit on Safe Moon?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's still being developed. There's people still working on it and
yeah.
shit?
Same thing with Panda Girl, which has gone way down. But as far as it almost sounds a lot like what you've been talking about with these nodes, but it's very like futuristic, like their goal is green energy, stuff like that. So
oh, really?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, always pay attention, like which blockchain companies are still building during the bear market.
Yeah.
Because that means they're not here for the pump and dump. They're here for the long term.
Right.
If they're building during a bear market.
What do you think about this market compared to because we've been through this?
Yeah,
These are easy waters, I think.
Yeah, I think what's different about this bear market is now that cryptocurrency has a market cap that has gone into the trillions and is maintaining in the low trillions. Now it's caught the attention of all the big central bankers and all those big banking families and the big hedge funds. And now what I think they're trying to do is crash the market, bankrupt companies, squash it as much as they can, and then that way they can buy as much of it as they can before the adoption really, really kicks in. Kind of like, how they do this with every market.
Of course.
They create boom and bust cycles so they can buy everything for dirt cheap and then become really wealthy. They did this with the 2008 housing market collapse. That's what they did. They crashed the housing market collapse. They bought a bunch of houses for dirt cheap. I think they're doing the same thing with crypto. They're just trying to crash it, come in with regulations, hit companies with lawsuits, bankrupt them, and then buy up the ones that they believe are going to have legs for the future.
Yeah. In fact, that you bring up a good point is when you look at it, because the last 2017 when we hit a high of about 20,000, that was all, I shouldn't say all, but for the most part that's all organic people. So now we can see that, like, hey, if that level is now new support, it might be hard for them to crash it much more below that.
Yeah, there's going to be that support line.
Those are people that have been in it for so long. Like,
yeah,
I'm only looking to buy. Like, I'm not looking to sell. So I think a lot of whales, like we saw strong bounce at 17 or like low 18s, high 17s.
Yeah,
but the same, like, because I would do that. If I had countless billions of dollars and I saw this new technology that I missed the boat on, I would manipulate the fuck out of it. And this is the most easily manipulated market. You don't have, dude, you can set up exchange accounts with no ID. So they can have countless bot accounts that are just crashing the market and shit like that. It'd be so easy to do.
Yep.
If they're not doing it, then that actually shows us that they are not as smart as we've made them out to be in our own minds, you know?
Or
Elon's done it multiple times.
As what?
Elon has done it multiple times.
Think of this. We got into crypto before Elon.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, dude, like, those people even missed the boat. Like, dude, I was talking about BlackRock getting into crypto back in like 2018, saying what's going on right now. Dude, like, this is going to be the natural progression. Like, as soon as the big institutions wake up, they're the ones with all the money.
Yeah.
So they're going to scramble in. What's really putting this stick in their spokes is regulation. So the reason why BlackRock or Fidelity or Goldman Sachs or Edward Jones, the reason why they're not selling it is because of regulation. As soon as regulation is passed, which I don't even know, because there's so much infighting in government between SEC, CFTC, all these regulatory bodies are fighting each other. So I think they might just fuck themselves over. But all of those big companies, remember, Edward Jones and Goldman Sachs, they have thousands of blood-hungry sharks that would love to call Bob and Susan Smith in the Midwest and say, hey, it's time to diversify your portfolio. So they want that money so bad, but they can't turn on the phone lines because of regulation.
Right.
So I actually think that we were talking a little bit about this even with Bruno, was all of their plans are backfiring because of the corruption and because of infighting within these regulatory bodies. I think America is going to get left in the dust. Yeah. Ultimately, some other country, like rising country, India or Brazil or another country.
Well, you already got BRICS.
Bingo, yeah.
BRICS.
Have you read that? I just saw a book today that said that Brazil is the new America, or the new USA, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's just a book that just came out, and I'm going to start reading it because it said that Brazil is the new USA.
That'd be wild if the power shifted. So I think the power will shift to Asia, because if you notice, any futuristic movies, they're all based in Asia. Like if you look at like Blade Runner and shit, like they're based out of Asia. So I wonder, like, because I think that...
I mean, look at Japan City, dude. It's way more fucking sophisticated. I mean, dude, everything is robotic there, right? Like, they go to restaurants and it's a fucking robot that gives them their food and shit.
So imagine, like, if that part of the world continues to evolve while America devolves. Because it's just, like, even, like, what Ray Dalio talks about, but he talks about, like, shifting world powers and stuff like that, but it's also rates of evolution change too, while one country might be having a rapid expansion of growth, another one's declining, and America's on the decline. 100% on the decline.
Well, dude, it's the only country in the world where homeless people have $1,000 cell phones.
Dude, yeah.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
Wild to think about. Yeah.
Dude, just the other day, I was driving the Curtis exit. There's
always a guy I've seen the same person on a fucking phone.
On his fucking iPhone.
Yeah, it's like running his eBay business while also, this is multiple streams of income, dog.
So crazy. I was like, holy fuck, dude. That guy has a nicer cell phone than I do.
Whoa.
Because I had the 11 and he had the 13 Max
psyop,
Pro.
Dude. It's a
and
scam.
I was just like,
whoa.
Holy fuck, dude. And you know what? I bet he has a nicer fucking car under the bridge too,
Yeah, dude. That's just his spot.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm going to go make a quick 2-fit and then, sell some shit on... dude, I had somebody...
I don't hate him. Look at churches. Pastor stands at the front and talks about something and asks for money.
Dude, I think people...
It's all donation.
Because I have a storage unit.
Yeah.
And I think that people are actually getting phone numbers from the storage unit people. Because I got a phone call saying, hey, I saw that you had a storage unit. Love to go through it and see what I'd like to buy out of it.
No way.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's good marketing.
But dude, that's not cool that the storage place is selling your data.
Totally. But I'm just saying fucking crazy, right? I'm like, holy shit, dude.
That's so crazy.
People are calling storage units and hitting them up and saying, hey, I'd like to buy some of your shit because I resell shit. I was like, damn.
Dang, that's not cool that they're selling your data.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
Dude, everyone's selling your data. In fact...
But you know what? They probably make you contract into it when you sign the contract.
Saying,
hey, we're
going
to
to
sell
your
your data.
Oh,
and if you agree to it, if you agree to it...
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin said that there's a marketing company that just hit them up that you plug something into your computer system, and then every time you get an email, it captures that person's position, the work they're in, their phone number, everything. And you have to call them back and say, hey, I no longer will allow you to take any more information before they have to turn it off, supposedly.
Oh, yeah,
But they probably don't even
Same
turn
thing.
it off
It's
then.
a contract. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to reach out to them and request it.
But
no one does that or knows how to do that.
If you've called somebody and they have that little deal in the back of their computer, all of your information is uploaded to their AI computer software program. And if somebody wants to reach out to you, like let's say somebody's like, hey, I'm looking for guys in my target market is guys into crypto, then all of a sudden they send your information to this guy that is paying them for that information.
Of course.
And then now that guy has your contact information, everything, like all of your information.
That's wild to think about, man.
Crazy world.
Yeah, but you have to pay them for that information, of course. Yeah. But if you've hit anybody else that has that thing plugged into their computer, because they give you a break if you plug that thing into your computer. So the more computers that they have hooked up, the more information they have.
What?
Yeah.
Dude. Shit's diabolical, man. Crazy. What else? Anything got going on new?
I mean, aside from just going to the seminars, I'm going to another one in a couple weeks. I'm going to be going to Barcelona, Spain in a couple of months.
I'm going to Portugal.
Oh, yeah?
When are you going to Portugal?
In October. So
January.
No way.
The 7th through the 17th or something like that.
Damn.
Okay. We're going to go in October, but one of the Node company, the one that with the commodity backs ones, they're flying me out and some other business.
No way! What? That's badass.
Yeah, so they're doing a company event there in Barcelona, and
Dude, Spain, that just reminded me, the big thing on the headlines right now is that Shakira is going to jail because she hasn't paid tax fraud. And everyone, like, that's the first thing that people, like, tell you. They're like, oh, did you know Shakira's going to go to jail?
Propaganda.
Like, she's not fucking going to jail. It's just propaganda.
Well, she might pay out of it, but again, if she did sign something, then that's how they catch you on front. You just don't file anything. No contract, no case. Yeah. That's what it's all about, you know? So, yeah, she might. But, yeah, they just take that, oh, here, we can put a little bit...
Or they figure out, they're like, oh, let's make an example out of her and then freak people out so that they keep voluntarily sending us their money.
And she might have even, like, consented to that.
Yeah, she might...
Yeah, imagine that.
She might be an actor. She might have had a business meeting with them. Okay, here's what we're going to do next. Yeah. We're gonna pretend that we're going to send you to jail, and we need you to just act like it and play along with this. And if you do, we'll keep you rich and famous.
Yep. Here's this fat check we're going to write for you.
Can you imagine that meeting? That there are meetings like that really going on? That's weird to me. That people are so diabolical.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I've heard some. I don't know if this is true, but I wouldn't be surprised it is. But I heard. I read this in an article, and it was about a meeting that the for-profit prison system was having with Hollywood producers, and this was like back in like I think the early '90s, and it was a meeting about how they were gonna run a big psyop to infiltrate the minds of the youth in Los Angeles by creating this thing called gangster rap that was going to create a culture of violence and crime so that they could throw a shit ton of people in jail and then profit in the for-profit prison systems.
Holy cow.
Because Ice Cube is an actor. How many movies? Friday?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, all this stuff. Yeah, it's all they're all actors, and then
that makes me think about recently the mayor of New York was going to ban it, like make it so it was a state legislator that you couldn't like play on any music system or anything hip hop, and then all of the leaders of hip hop went and had a meeting with him about why hip hop needed to happen in the cities.
Dude, that's so fucking wild. Yep. Have you guys ever seen the second Wall Street movie? Wall Street Money Never Sleeps?
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a great movie. Such a good movie. But there is a scene in it where all like the biggest bankers, like Federal Reserve. In fact, there's a guy who's, I guarantee he's supposed to be Donald Rumsfeld. But yeah, they're like in this, I mean, it's $1 billion looking room, like all that old ass wood and library, you know, and they're having these after hours meetings, you know? Yeah. It's wild to think about. Or again, that there's motherfuckers out there right now drinking some baby blood. Oh, I just can't imagine that's real.
And dude, there was an article that was released that was supposed to be Justin Bieber, right? And it was like an apology letter about how he basically had to like rape and kill this kid or whatever. And I don't know if it was factual or not, but it like you couldn't find it if you tried to find it now, which is weird, right? But it was basically like this like apology letter, like, hey, if you want to become a billionaire, you have to do this. And he like went through it and then wrote like
his face went paralyzed.
Dude, exactly. Karma. And then he went through like an apology letter, and that's what I saw. And then boom, like, dude, 2 days later you couldn't fucking find it anywhere.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Dude, and then his face went numb. So dang, I gotta take a piss.
Dude, I gotta piss after you. Should we just pee at the same time? Cross swords?
You can hold his, you can hold yours.
Yeah. Must awake, you know, like all of these things. And then when I hit that sixth session, that sixth level or whatever.
Graduation,
dude. Then I saw who they really were. And it was just future us's. It was fucking weird, dude.
But to that point, the future us's. Because his sixth and my sixth were a little bit different. Like the beings I saw, like weren't like, they were like the atypical extraterrestrial being, like asexual, no real face. But recently, more and more, I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast, Duncan Trussell, where they were talking about what if back in fucking Egyptian times they knew about immortality. And so that's why they mummify their body, because they're like, hey, let's mummify ourselves. Then thousands of years they're going to discover this shit to bring us back to life.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think mummification was a science of preserving genetic material. Because
there you go.
That way, when they came back, or maybe they went and traveled, were doing some interplanetary traveling for a few thousand years, and they want to come back and reanimate those bodies and then send their consciousness back into that other body.
Yes,
because that's how they rolled. I mean, that's what it talks about in Hermes Trismegistus Thoth. He talks about all that kind of stuff.
So you think that, because that's what, man, like King Tut, that fucking mummy, the purpose of it was to preserve that genetic DNA so that in the future when technology caught up, or wonder if they realized that we've played this exact game countless times, that even right now, like there might even be a parallel universe or a parallel timeline that we've had this same conversation. We've played out this exact same
millions of times.
Yeah. So he's like, I know what's going to happen 5,000 years or whenever. He's like, I'm going to preserve my body so that when that technology does come about, they can reanimate my body. And then I'll like he could be traveling intergalactically and get a fucking alert on his phone saying, hey, they're ready. The body's ready.
Yeah.
Boom, incarnate back into that body.
Yeah. Or, I mean, another theory I had is that if you look at it from a standpoint of a really, really advanced civilization or really advanced beings, well, like you think, what would be really, really valuable to a extremely highly advanced being in their economy, in their trade? Well, you wouldn't be dealing with stupid US dollars. You'd trade genetic material and technology with other highly advanced civilizations, because that's what a highly advanced being does. A highly advanced being, they create their own species. They seed their own planets.
Wow.
So so you think you have all these. It's like, let's say like we were super highly advanced. It's like, hey Gary, I'm gonna go on this planet and seed and create my own species over there. What about you? What are you up to? Oh, I want to go over here. Hey, you think you could sell me some of the DNA from that you got from that planet so I can splice it and create this other? I got an idea for another species I want to create on this planet. Wow. Like that's how I would think if I was a really, really advanced being. And that's what would be valuable to me. But I don't want your fiat money. I want some of that genetic material from that planet you control over there.
What if that's like fucking level 12 dimension, and on level 3 where we're at, like third dimension, fourth dimension, like the narrative, the storyline keeps playing over and over again on this particular dimension. But then like you're saying, like on that dimension, you can actually, because we're already doing it. We're seeding crops and manipulating seeds. So yeah, if you were at this godlike infinite being type level of dimension or consciousness, why wouldn't you be seeding planets and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, that's exactly that's the exact narrative in the ancient cuneiform tablets that are found buried in the sand in the Middle East, like all these ancient creation stories and all these translators like Zachariah Sitchin, Mauro Baglino, all these they find all these cuneiform tablets like by the tens of thousands. And that's basically what it talks about. It's the whole Genesis story, the genetics of
that's where the alien story comes from, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Prometheus.
Genesis. Yeah, Prometheus. Yeah. But that's what it talks about, that this whole story about the Bible and the Garden of Eden and the creation of Adam and Eve. Like, I mean, to me, that just translates as really highly advanced people coming here, doing genetic experiments, and then the whole story
seeding the planet,
and that's what the Garden of Eden was. They were probably pharmacologists too. And then you got this whole narrative of the flood, and then Noah and the ark. Well, I think the ark was a vehicle to preserve the genetic material so that they could reseed the planet.
Well, it says that in Ancient Aliens too.
Yeah.
But if you read the Bible, they didn't start aging like us until not that long ago. Because I mean, Moses had 400 wives and lived to be almost 900 years old. And I mean, so it says that all of that in the Bible. So
it does, yeah. And also too in the cuneiform translations, the same narrative. It talks about how when the gods came to Earth, they realized that they were actually aging faster here than on their home planet because of the law of relativity.
Yeah,
in the
like a
Earth's
bigger
orbit.
planet.
Yep.
Yes, I've
Yeah, 'cause-
thought a lot.
Yep, because their narrative says that their home planet
It's like on
is
Interstellar.
Interstellar,
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
go to that other planet.
Yeah.
Planet's
Interstellar.
10 times bigger than Earth.
Yep.
The time is going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it specifically says that, and then it goes even as far to talk about how they had there started things that they concocted that they would eat and ingest to slow their aging, and even in the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus and Thoth. I mean, it talks about having regeneration chambers under the pyramids where they would regenerate their life. So they were like quasi-immortals.
Right.
But they made the human slaves think they were real immortals because they lived for 1,000 years. So someone that lives for 1,000 years to someone that lives 100 years and didn't understand the technology they were using, they would think they were an immortal.
Right, of course.
And that's how they...
What was I doing?
So, they were quasi-immortals, like fake gods masquerading as real gods.
Interesting.
That's my theory.
So how do you think that plays into, and I don't know what you know or believe about the stoned ape theory?
I don't believe in the whole stoned ape theory in terms of how like Terence McKenna was describing it. I do believe that you could eat some mushrooms and that's going to expand your consciousness. But I don't think that the reason that our brain, our frontal lobe is double the size of the apes is because the apes started eating mushrooms. I believe that was a genetic upgrade given to us from the Anunnaki. Okay. And there was, when you read into this, it almost appears that there was multiple upgrades that we got. One upgrade was the upgrade of sexual reproductive organs. And it talks about how like some of the first genetically engineered humans didn't have the ability to sexually reproduce. So that at one point they're like, we need more slaves. How can we get more slaves? So let's give them sexual reproductive organs so that they can reproduce.
Well,
and
where does it say this?
In some of these translations, in some of these different books that I've been researching, there's one book I'm reading called DNA of the Gods that goes really deep into this. Zachariah Sitchin's books goes into this. There's a bunch of them out there. Billy Carson talks a lot about this. There's another Matthew LaCroix is another guy that goes down these rabbit holes. But as they uncover more and more of these tablets and more of them get translated from different people all across the world, we start seeing the narrative. We start seeing gaps in the narrative get filled in, like in the Garden of Eden and the whole Adam and Eve story, where it talks about how like Eve and they became aware of their sexual organs and they covered him in loincloth. Well, how did they all of a sudden become aware? It's because they didn't have it before and they got a DNA upgrade.
Interesting.
So that's another theory about these Anunnaki that were here. They were doing multiple DNA. They were doing all kinds of genetic experiments. In Mauro Biglino's book, because Mauro Biglino was a translator for the Vatican, and he did all these. He translates Hebrew. He translates cuneiform. This dude translates everything. And he wrote a book called "The Book That Will Forever Change Your Ideas About the Bible." And he goes into all these translations about how the Anunnaki came here and were doing genetic experiments, and how when they first started doing the experiments, they fucked up. Like the humans, the hands wouldn't open, the eyes didn't work.
Some Westworld shit.
Yeah, and it talks about how like one of the attempts, like the human couldn't hold in his urine or something, and they had all these fuck ups that they did before they finally figured out how to get one right that actually functioned correctly. Yeah. So it was like a trial and error of different genetic experiments, different DNA upgrades before they finally got one that worked. And then eventually they got to a point where, well, hey, let's give them the sexual reproductive organ. Let's make this one smarter where his consciousness is expanded and now he knows the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
Like it says in the Garden of Eden. So there's all these references to different stages of the genetic manipulation process where it went from a really primitive being, no reproductive capability, no real expansion of consciousness, to being able to sexually reproduce, to being aware, the knowledge of good and evil. And these, I think, are all references to different genetic upgrades that were done along the way.
What timeline are they talking?
This is talking, it goes back hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. We're talking about back starting 450,000 years ago.
450,000 years.
According to all these translators.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it talks about how some of these Anunnaki gods ruled for tens of thousands of years at a time as quasi-immortals, only because they kept regenerating their bodies and they had technology and things they drank in different medical procedures that would extend their lifespan indefinitely.
Why do you think that they haven't like shown up in the last 2000? Like straight, I mean, if there are these beings, like they overpower any sort of monarchy, or why would they just show up, and why would they have to masquerade or to cloak themselves?
A theory is that they left. They left planet to their bloodline descendants to rule the planet.
To rule another planet?
A theory is that they left, went back to some other planets, but their bloodlines are still here on this planet, and that's where we get like the demigods and the half god, half man in the Greek mythology. And then over the years, that bloodline got more mixed and
more thinned out.
And now then that's where we get this whole idea of like racism and the divine right to rule. Well, I'm the king because I have, X amount of percentage of the gods, and my percentage of the DNA is more pure than yours, so I have the right to rule over you. Wow. And that's where my theory on where we get this whole idea of like the divine right to rule, the kings, the monarchs, the bloodlines, the banking family bloodlines, the Rothschild, Rockefeller bloodlines. Like, where did those even come from? I think it traces all the way back to these Anunnaki gods that originally came here and started doing the DNA and the fucking with DNA. And then, it says in the Bible that, they started fucking the daughters of men because they thought they were beautiful, creating half man, half gods, 25% DNA, 75% splits, the demigods. And then over time, it just all got thins out. And
so are they supposed to come back?
I don't know. I mean, well,
why would they come back?
Well, here's the thing too, and this is where you get it all intertwined with this whole story of Jesus coming back to save everyone.
Yeah,
it's all intertwined with this Anunnaki creation story. Is like there's don't worry, one day the gods are gonna come back and all this stuff, and
but no one ever really seems for it to want to have. They always say, "I don't think he's gonna come back in my lifetime."
Yeah,
that's a trend I've heard a lot from all religious. Is like, oh yeah, I believe it's going to come back, but not in my lifetime. It's like, well, why wouldn't you? Like, I want that shit to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for aliens or some deity to come floating out of the sky. I would love for that to happen. I'd be so excited for something like that to happen, but it's like, it hasn't happened yet.
Dude, that reminds me of 300. The God King that went to those.
Oh yeah, such a great scene.
They went to the. Have you seen the second one? When he goes to the. I can't remember what they call it, but they tell you actually the story of how he became a God King.
Oh, really?
Because it was like a real rumor that he went and did this. Like it's like in the actual Greek story of how he became a God King, and he like went to these weird little creatures in these caves because he had some fucking drama in his life, and he said, "Make me a God King," and he went into these dark waters and then came out like this giant gold being.
Interesting.
And then went on to rule, almost the whole world.
Xerxes, right?
Yeah, Xerxes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange like passages that correlate with what you're saying. Like even in the ancient Greeks, Hermes Trismegistus talks about like the rivers of life that they go into, and the river of life flows onward, and they descend into these places and regenerate their bodies and all this weird shit. So who knows, man?
I'm telling you, Sean, because when I very first started experimenting with ketamine, the only thing I would put on the books, the teachings of Thoth, and I would just trip out. And I'm telling you, is that
I've been listening to Dune.
Dude, it is a portal to another.
You ever got into Dune?
No, I've never.
Dude, you need to.
Okay. Send it to me on Instagram.
Yeah,
man.
I'll send it to you. I mean, honestly, I have never read anything that like feels so real to me in my life as like the Book of Dune. Like just I'm re-listening to everything because I read the original one. What was that? 2005, 2006. And so I just now started re-listening to it. So I'm on the Messiah right now, which is the second one. But
oh, really?
Yeah. Dude, it's so crazy because it's like I feel like I'm living that right now. Like I just took the Shialulu, like I just took the waters of life, and now I've gone to the place where you can't come back.
Right.
It's so weird, but I mean, dude, just like the things that they say in this book, it's like, holy crap, man. And then they even talk about their weapons are through sound.
Oh yeah.
And they have like they don't use like weapons we do, and then there will be, I mean, there's an ongoing war forever about, so basically there's these wizard beings that eat this spice, and that's what and so instead of them traveling through space, they fly into this big fucking gold prism, which I feel like I've been in now. And there's this fucking little wizard bean that like lights up, and it goes and takes this life water basically, and that being is able to move space and time, and that's how they space travel. But the only way they can do that, and it's called the guild or whatever, is if they mine this substance on Arrakis. And everyone's addicted to it, but only these wizards can move space and time.
Oh, so everyone's addicted. It's giving them a certain experience, but then the other wiser people are using,
which is out of a humanoid body.
Just
it's
like
in like a Avatar type deal.
Interesting. Because even like
and this book is from like the fucking 60s or 70s. It's crazy. That guy was way that guy was way ahead of his time.
He was probably got all that ideas from occult literature.
Probably occult literature and eating a fucking lot of
psychedelics. In the 60s, what do you think they were doing? They were fucking doing acid and all that crazy shit. So, I mean, dude, honestly,
popping through some portals.
But I mean, I feel like we're living that right now, right? Like, he even says this, like, what made him the one is he chose to be the one. That was the only thing that everyone else was afraid. They were like, oh, I don't know if I want to fucking do that. And then when they did it, it would kill them. And all that
what would kill them?
So women, if they drank this life water, right?
Yeah.
In the book, they become this priestess type deal, right?
That's what his mom was.
Grandma. And
grandma was like a big time.
Totally. And so
witch.
he then fucking like no man had ever survived taking this drink. And the way they get this drink basically is from these baby worms from Arrakis. Well,
just the pure goo.
Yeah, the pure goo. And so what the priestess mother can do is change that water, and then everyone has this like big orgy and everyone gets fucking high from it, right? But like no man can take it. Most women can't take it and live, right? But only special ones can.
Right.
And they like do this like link to all these other fucking mothers from the past, basically, right? But there's a door that none of those women open up. And that's where the one, so basically Neo, fucking opens that door, and they are trying to breed the perfect human being to then open up this door, right? So like in
all the priestesses?
Yeah, and in the movie they don't really go into this. Well, the priestesses plant like women of like emperors and barons and all this shit, and they crossbreed these royalty people,
trying to breed this being that can open the door,
special being that can open the door, that has enough confidence, basically, is what they get into to actually open this door and survive.
And he doesn't even know he's like, until he's older, he doesn't even know
he's 15.
Yeah, his mom and grandma have been teaching him all this fucking wizardry the whole time. He didn't even know.
Yeah, and then he fucking finally gets the confidence, like, and that's what he says after he drinks the water of life. He even says, like, the only thing that differs me from these other people that died is I had the confidence, the breeding confidence. Because if you think about it,
breeding confidence.
His dad was a fucking duke.
Oh, yeah.
His fucking mom was the daughter of the emperor or of the baron, like, and so on, like thousands and thousands of years. And that's like, I've really been meditating on this a lot and thinking about this lately, is that like they breed fear into us. Like, dude, that's all that's been happening for thousands of years, is all of this anxiety and problems that we have. Like I even told
it's
you,
all fear, man.
Now I feel dialed in more than ever in sports. Like I can hit I'm like, every time I go up, I'm like, I know where I'm going to hit this baseball. There's no fear and doubt in my mind anymore. Whereas back in the day when I was in high school, if I dropped a pass at the beginning of the game, like, dude, I was a head case the rest of that game. That's bred into me.
Right.
Dude, you take these fucking kids of kings and shit like that. You are the third or fourth generation king Like, dude, you're like, I'm not fucking afraid of anything, baby.
Yeah, imagine like as a child, you got taught to sword fight and shit like that.
Yeah, and told that you're gonna rule over
you're
everyone.
the king.
Yeah, from birth.
Yeah, dang.
You have no doubt.
Dang.
Whereas us, we're bred to be slaves
and to be afraid,
and to be
complacent.
Yeah, and to not
seek comfort.
Exactly, and that's another reason why I think that so many men these days talk about fighting, but would never actually fucking fight because they don't have the confidence. They're like, oh, well, what if I get hurt? You know? But they want to be that type of a guy. I have so many friends, dude, that talk that talk, but would never walk the walk because I've been in situations with some people where, like, some people that I thought were tough didn't make a tough move, and I'm just like,
they
dude,
run off.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the most simple thing for me, you know. Like, I love fighting, and guess what? If I get my ass kicked, it hurts for a couple.
You're gonna
months.
survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, getting kicked or punched, yeah, you're gonna live.
Yeah, it just hurts for a couple weeks and makes
it doesn't hurt in the fight,
right?
Though. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah,
but it's that fear of even getting in the situation
or being embarrassed or any of that.
Yeah,
but at the end of it, guess what you do? You like, oh fuck, I got my ass whooped. You go punch a fucking heavy bag for a little bit and do some push-ups and man the fuck up.
But think about this. So yeah, you're good at that.
Right.
But like go to court.
Right.
Go to fucking court and fucking that shit is fuck, dude. I'd
I've
rather
done it.
fight than go to court.
Dude, I didn't even hire a lawyer for my minor in consumption.
Oh yeah.
When I was like 19 years old.
Uh-huh.
I went in there by myself and was like, hey man, yeah, I drink alcohol. Who cares? Everyone's doing it. Why do I need to pay a ticket? And I mean, I don't think he gave me a fine. I just had to do 5 days of sealed. But I mean, that was 19-year-old Ken, you know? Like, I was already going there like, what do I need a lawyer for? Why am I going to pay somebody money to tell you that, like, hey,
tell my story?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, my best friend just died in Afghanistan. And fucking you know what I mean? Like, and he's my age. You telling me that guy can't fucking drink?
Yeah, he's out there killing and dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're telling me I can't drink some fucking alcohol.
That's crazy.
That is weird, dude.
Weird laws.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's all loaded dog
But
shit.
Dude, I mean, yeah. But you need to listen. I'm going to send you Dune right now.
Yeah, send it to me.
Because it is the fucking wildest shit I've ever read in my life. And it is how I feel, you know, now that I have been getting into all this shit. I just got to find...
I sent you the Telegram groups too.
Yeah, I joined.
Another book you guys have to read, though, that's fucking wild is Out of the Devil's Cauldron.
Never heard of that one.
I've never heard of that one either.
Yeah, well, about to. Holy shit. Oh, library. There we go. But yeah, there's a bunch of these.
The Dunes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on Messiah right now. Actually, I took a little break from Messiah and started re-listening to The Sovereign Individual.
Have you gone through that?
Which one?
Sovereign Individual? Dude, that book is...
Dude,
oh my God.
When you do your ketamine trip,
okay,
listen to this fucking book, dude. It's like, oh my gosh, man. It's so wild.
So when you guys do ketamine, you just put some headphones on and...
Yep.
Yeah, I just listen to meditations.
My favorite rooms are the basement rooms.
Oh yeah.
Also, they have.
too.
I can pick my room when I go in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is, dude. It's fuck. Talk about a portal, like a fucking warp zone in Mario Brothers, man.
It was what was it?
Yeah, I sent it. It's sick.
Yeah, because you do have to go through the that what is that psych evaluation?
It was this one. Was this one you went to?
Questionnaire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Nicole and Jeremy. Nicole.
Okay.
I actually have been very, very close friends with Jeremy for a long time now. I'd probably say 2014 is when I met Jeremy.
Really?
And just a completely different person from when I first met him. Dude, just full of hullabaloo back in the day. In fact, one of the... I won't tell you...
Yeah, man, we got to get them on though.
Yeah. Oh, and they're ready to rock.
Yeah,
too.
man. Even like next week, dude. Yeah, man. I'd really like to talk and get their story. Because, man, that is... Because especially now with your experience, I'm curious, are other people having these...
They have to be.
I don't think they are, man.
Interstellar... Dude, I went in that
That's
same...
such a fraction. And that is such an assumption to think that just because he made that video, he's doing ketamine.
I know. Well, and I don't necessarily mean ketamine. I just mean psychedelics.
Oh,
in
yeah,
general.
maybe.
Like,
I don't think people are having these breakthroughs.
Well, dude, I went to that same fucking ship when he talks to future himself and past himself. I've been in that same fucking ship. I've been in that same, like, the bouncy house when you're inside of it. It's like being a part of like some rubber thing. But I've seen, because I've flown out of it and I've looked back and it looked exactly like that in space. But it's like a wide open sphere, right? And then like there's big channels that looks like a fucking computer system. And you go into that and then you fly into this thing and then you fucking fly out of it.
I'm not doubting what you saw. I'm just saying I doubt very many people are having the same experience.
I just don't know how you could have that experience and then make a movie, or not have an experience like that, but make a movie. I don't know. Maybe you're right, but
I'm just saying even people that are going locally, like they're not people that are the typical client of Nicole's is not having this experience.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, and that's what future me told me. Remember? That was the big thing is they're like, hey, the science of getting rich and then body fat percentage is very, and fasting and keto was very important for getting like the full experience from it. And that was like why, like between 10 and 12%, they said, is when like the male's mind works the best for body fat percentage, what they said. And then they said that keto and intermittent fasting, it will also have to do with that. And then the science of getting rich just gets all that negativity and stuff like that out of their mind. But also it's like, everyone always has known the things that are in the science of getting rich, all of those lessons. But it's actually writing it out and like seeing all of it. It's like, boom, like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And so they said you need all of those things to get the full experience of psychedelics.
Yeah.
Because the only time that you can is when your mind is in purity. Once it's pure and like ready to accept it, then you're going to fucking time travel.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're already ready,
time
dude.
travel.
You're fucking
All right,
fit.
I guess I gotta go.
Yeah, you're fit. You fucking, you're ahead of the game as far as like the mind goes. Like, dude, you're ready to rock.
Yeah, imagine like you're going to go and meet the immortals. And it's like, you said that when we talked about your trip, like, it doesn't matter what anybody tells you. You've had this experience.
Yeah.
So now, like, even you've done ayahuasca, but like this is to me, this makes ayahuasca look like fucking caveman shit.
Okay. I honestly, I don't know if I want to do ayahuasca again, but it was like a lot of work.
You won't need to.
Yeah, I would. I don't. After doing this,
never
I don't
do it
even
again.
want really.
I actually did DMT a few days ago, like a week ago, and I did not enjoy it compared to the ketamine. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, but it's like, is that better? Like fucking just, yeah, exactly. Whereas the ketamine, like you don't even, all of a sudden you're like, all of a sudden you're sitting in a chair and you're like, it's coming. And then all of a sudden you're like back and you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
and it's like re-flashing your eyes, like wiggling your toes, like, oh wow, this body, I don't know. It's
just an avatar.
Yeah.
It's just the avatar you're using in this dimension.
Right.
It's almost like the ketamine, it's something that changes it's almost like changing the channel on your consciousness.
Yeah.
Like you could come back to, oh yeah, okay, I'm still in that game, but whoa, there's this whole other game.
Dude, and my last 2 times when I come back, I'm like flashing in and out of reality. Cause like I'm back here and then I'm back there. And it takes me like 2 hours until I'm like completely back. Like,
oh yeah.
Even my phone looks way different. Like the way I see it.
Yeah.
I'm
like
trying to fucking.
It's so fucking different.
Trying to text you.
Oh yeah,
dude. I was like trying to text you, but it's like you see the
phone
Matrix.
looks like a different phone. Yeah, it's
you see the Matrix.
Weird.
You're like,
yeah.
You're like, I need to communicate.
The texting is so fucking crazy, dude. Oh
Dude.
my god.
I just can't wait for you to do
you
it.
start seeing the ones and the zeros or what?
No, it looks totally different. Like the last time when I did it, I thought it was a different phone. I thought it was like this most advanced,
and it's way
upgraded
smaller.
phone.
Yeah,
it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
dude.
you're like looking at it and you're like, damn, dude, look how great because you like.
And then you come back and you're like, fuck, dude, I'm back. That was way cool. I thought I broke through to this like whole new level of the game that was like so fucking amazing. We'd won like this utopia. Then you're like, fuck, I'm still here. But then like you're saying like. And here's like the concept.
It wears
the more
off. That's why you have to do refreshers. It wears off.
But you get better in that reality.
I'm going to meet Jeremy for lunch on Monday. You should come with me.
Maybe, because I might be doing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the ketamine guy.
Him and his wife own the.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm in. Well, I'm still going to try, but I'll just push for like... I really want to do it at the end of the day now.
Because
he... the morning.
Oh, yeah.
To
It's
fuck up my
way
whole
better.
day.
Yeah, it's way better. But he called me and was like, hey, I want to hear how your trips have been going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what we're linking. And I would love for you to come. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
dang, dude. Oh, you got to do it because it is... Fucking
I believe you. All right, I'm sold.
Yeah.
But it did another thing that some other information that I got was that like women's minds can't experience the same thing that masculine men can.
Why is that?
What they basically said is that they are so over corrupted from like and feelings like because we're made not to have
because the emotions. Is it the hormones?
Yeah, it's the hormones,
Okay, that makes
it's the
sense.
emotions, it's all these things. And it's not that we're better than them by any means at all, but it's just that like we don't attach ourselves to things. And they're so over marketed right now, like their minds are, that they said it takes like 2 or 3 generations for them to be able to like do it basically because they're holding they're holding on to things so great, but it's because that's how they were created though. They were created to want things for us to then go and get those things for them, and whoever was the best at getting those things for them like gets the best looking one. And that's how it's been from the beginning. And that's the same thing with like kids. Like just think if like a guy look at animals. They fucking go in and kill kids, right?
100%.
But we don't do that because we
right.
want to impress this woman, right? So it's completely different kingdoms as far as like we were created to do what they want,
right?
So that we can get the best looking one, right?
Yeah, it's all about sex and procreating the species.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't want any money except for to get some pussy.
That's why all of us
to
do
give
it
to her. Yeah, I'll drive the Prius. You can have anything you want.
Yeah.
I just need 2 things: sex and sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's it, lady.
Yeah.
Here's the card.
Go do whatever you want, sweetie. Yeah. But for the first time ever, though, we're having a backtrack. And that's what they were telling me, that this like galactic club that we're supposed to do to make men again is because the sleeper has been like needs to awake. Masculinity needs to come back because that's what's going to get us to the next consciousness. Dude, it goes so crazy. Like, and we're talking 3 nights,
so deep.
Or my trip that night, then then the night after that, and then it like wore off.
So you did it multiple nights in a row.
Yeah. So like I took
No. You didn't take a shot.
Oh, no. So I did the ketamine, and then that night I talked to them in my dreams, and then the next night, and then after that my dreams got less and less vivid.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
And then yesterday I did it again, right? So I did it again, and it was like started over from where I left off. Like, hey, it's good to see you again, buddy. You know,
that's what I mean.
That's nuts.
And
no,
then,
it is like a game, and the more you start being able to interact in that reality.
Yeah, I could touch the count. I could touch the table. I could touch the cloths on the wall because they're all these like emerald green.
So the same future people you talk to, they kept coming back to you the next nights in the dude. That's nuts. Okay,
dude, and in my 6th session too, like my 6th session, it felt like a commencement. Like you made it. You graduate, and I had these beings, and I was in a fucking emerald pyramid. like I was in it. I could feel the emerald floor. I was tripping so bad. I asked Nicole. She came in and checked my vitals. I'm like, I'm tripping so fucking hard. Will you please just sit in here with me and talk to me? She's like, yeah. I was describing all this to her. It's like,
wow.
Oh my God, I see a Stargate. I'm going to walk through it. Like, I could see all this stuff, dude. It was so wild. But yeah, then like subsequently, like I've only done it the one time maybe. Once or twice after so I've maybe done 8 sessions too. But the last one wasn't super in depth, but this one, yeah, I mean, it is like a game, like a video game, and you get to start over from where you saved the last session.
Last night I had the dream. Oh. Yeah, I had the dream again, and it was just like, hey buddy, good to see you again. Yeah, let's keep chatting. And I'm like, okay, fucking just, and it's like this event, like I'm in a concrete room, and I've never noticed that it was like the shape of it, right? So at first I'm in this like glass room, and then I walk into this concrete room, and there's like green, like satin or velvet fucking like things everywhere, and it's like we're in these like suits that aren't like regular clothes, right? It's just like one bodysuit, and it's like almost like a colorless bodysuit. And there's a couple
like an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, and there's a couple of the guys that are wearing like these green cape type things, but not all of them have it. And everything is emerald green or concrete pretty much. And like, dude, you can fill the concrete table and the fucking concrete wall with and there's little symbols on the hieroglyphics and shit. on the green velvet fucking like I don't know, I draperies or something. Too. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so now you got to go through it to confirm to the two of us that we're not a couple of fucking lunatics. We need the third guy.
Deal. No pressure.
Oh man.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Oh my gosh, dude, it's so weird because when I was texting him, and here's the other thing that's been really wild, which we talked about on the past episode, is some of the things they told me were happening. Brian Shields messaging me. They literally, and I told other people that Brian Shields was going to reach out to me, and he fucking did.
That's weird,
the very next day. And then like my friend Kirk was like, future Kirk was like, hey, and I haven't talked to him since I bought a fucking skateboard. And I don't talk to Brian Shields that much at all. He's never reached out to me. But it was weird because Kirk was like, hey man, you're going to reach out to me because I keep meaning to reach out to you, but I haven't. And the first fucking thing he messaged me was, I've been meaning to reach out to you. It was so weird. I'm like, dude, I have to fucking tell you guys these things because I talked to future you and they told me that this was going to happen.
That's freaky.
Yeah, it's
very freaky.
It's a fucking simulation, man.
Dude. And I've got like actual fucking, because I have text messages talking to Steve Masonheimer and told him about all this stuff. And then, oh damn it, dude. Do I not have fucking service in here? What the fuck?
I think it's been weird since they
dug in. Stuff. Where's it at? We've been talking a little bit more lately. Oh, right here. So I share the Science of Getting Rich, right? And he said, "Has this been good for you, bro?" ? Dude, so weird because literally the day before that I spoke to future him and he said the thing he needed to work on was self-confidence and self-belief. And then he asked me, and then so as we go on, bro, the best, rewiring your brain, he said that's exactly what I need to do. Oh my gosh, dude. And then I immediately was like, we need to grab lunch, man. I have the wildest story to tell you. And he said, LOL, just let me know when, bro. Tomorrow, 12. Works for me. Where at?
Wow.
We met up and I fucking told him the story. And he was just like, he was definitely kind of like taken back by it because I could tell he had an uncomfortable look on his face.
If you told me this story and I wasn't into this shit, I'd think, dude, this motherfucker's low.
But dude, I have no fear because I've seen the end point.
I've been there too. Yeah. So I know.
It's like I have no fear because I've seen the end game. I see where we get. So it's like nothing I do is going to stop us.
We can't die.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate fear would be that something kills you.
Yeah.
We know because we've seen future. Like, we ain't gonna die.
Right.
That's pretty wild. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Immortal.
Fucking weird, man. But
yeah. So I mean, if you got to go reformat all that stuff, I think we're gonna probably make some tri-tip or something like that on Sunday and play Cash Flow. You ever played Cash Flow?
No.
it's
Robert Kiyosaki game.
Yeah.
No, I've never played that. I didn't even know you had a game.
Yeah.
It's fun, man.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to come back over on Sunday and get those things signed or.